Today on Fat Doctor, weighing in at 32 stone, Sacha Whitehead is super morbidly obese. She's been told that unless she loses weight soon, she'll be dead within the next 5 years. But Sacha just can't control her addiction to food.
I hate myself for letting myself get like this. The reason I'm like I am is my fault. It's me that eats, no one forces me to eat.
Expect graphic scenes of gastric bypass surgery on Fat Doctor. Britain is now the fattest nation in Europe. A quarter of the adult population in the UK are dangerously overweight, and this is set to rise to a third in the next 3 years. We eat too much and we exercise too little. Millions of Britons struggle daily with diets, but most will fail. No matter how hard they try, they just can't get rid of the fat.
If I could change anything, it would be from my neck down. I don't mind my face too much. But yeah, everything else I really like to change.
When you suffer from obesity, you always think about food. I constantly think about the smells, the textures, the sounds, the look of food.
I hate being this size. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Sort my life back.
We're facing an obesity crisis, and in desperation, more and more people are turning to weight loss surgery as the answer to their prayers. Bariatric operations can be risky, and only a handful of surgeons specialise in this complex procedure. Shaw Summers is one of them. He performs major surgery that can shrink a stomach to the size of an egg. Every day he sets out to change and even save people's lives.
For me, the most rewarding aspect of bariatric surgery is the fact that I can turn somebody's life around, and that will persist for many, many years. I'd love not to have to do surgery on an otherwise normal person just because they're big. Unfortunately, it's the only thing that works at the moment.
Shaw performs operations on some of Britain's biggest. They go under his knife in a desperate bid to shed the pounds.
Obesity is the last remaining acceptable prejudice. If you subjected any other sections of society to the kind of prejudice that fat people face, I think you would be locked up. And I think it's quite extraordinary that in an otherwise tolerant multicultural society, fat people can be ridiculed, humiliated, ignored, and prejudiced against just because they have a problem that they can't deal with.
These are some of Shaw's former patients at their annual reunion.
How are you?
I've got to have me hug.
You got to have your hug.
I've got to have me hug.
Their lives have been transformed by his life-saving surgery.
I've lost 7 stone in 7 months, and it's the best thing ever. Life has changed in so many ways.
I've lost 17 stone in just over 13 months, and I feel fantastic.
I've lost 12.5 stone in 2 years. The best thing about losing weight, I can walk through a street without anybody looking at me and making me feel bad. They look at me for a different reason. People smile at me now. They never used to. And that's nice. I love being smiled at.
It's results like these that Sacha Whitehead is desperate to achieve. But a lifetime overeating has taken its toll, and time is running out.
The only option left for me is surgery. I don't have a choice. If I don't have it, I'm going to die.
Single mum Sacha Whitehead is 32 years old and weighs over 30 stone. At just 5 foot 2 inches tall, she is super morbidly obese.
People's looks of disgust. How could you let yourself get like that? You shouldn't be out, you're a freak. You should just be locked away because it's disgusting to look at. And it is. I don't look at myself.
You're considered obese if you have a body mass index of over 30. Sacha's BMI is a shocking 82.
What I hate the most about my body, everything. I like my eyes, hate my belly. The amount of times I sat there and thought, if I start cutting it off myself, would they be able to cut it off for me? Would they finish the job, or would they just sew it up?
It's early morning in Wimborne, Dorset. Sacha is getting ready for the day. Simple tasks like getting dressed require enormous effort and leave her exhausted. For Sacha, life has become unbearable.
I'm about 32 stone. But I don't have a life. May as well be dead because I can't do anything. I can't look after myself, let alone look after my child as well. Every day is just painful. Every day's a struggle. Most days you wake up and pray that you don't have to live in this body anymore. I don't have a mirror in my house that I can see the whole of myself. Look at my face and that's it. Because I'm disgusted in myself. And I can see what people see in me.
Sacha's son, Lewis, is getting ready for school. He prepares his own breakfast and packed lunch. At 9 years old, Lewis is Sacha's chief carer and has to help run the house.
I help her tidy up, help her make dinner, help her wash her hair, and help her get dressed. I put her socks on for her because she can't reach her feet because she's got too big a belly. I don't mind helping Mummy and doing all the things that she asked me to because I love her.
Lewis?
Yeah?
You got your shoes on? Breakfast?
Yep.
Lunch? Right, come on then, keys. Right.
I'm over here.
Let's go. Hate myself. Hate myself for letting myself get like this. Got no self-worth. I would have ended up killing myself. But I can't because I've got Lewis to look after. I wouldn't do it to him.
It's only 50 yards from the house to her car, but this is as far as Sacha can walk. So she drives Lewis the half-mile distance to school. But Sacha knows that if she continues to pile on the pounds, it won't be long before she's unable to squeeze into her car.
As you can see, seatbelts don't go round. I've got no way of even attempting to meet. So we just kind of put them over our shoulder and hope that it looks like we're wearing a seatbelt when we're actually not. I mean, I find it hard enough to sit behind the steering wheel. It cuts into my belly, can't reach the pedals properly, and in the end it does get dangerous. I've got no choice. I have to take him to school, and I can't physically walk him to school, and they don't allow him to walk himself to school, so I have to do it any way but I can.
Although Sacha takes Lewis to and from school, she never gets out of the car because she's so ashamed of her size.
It's not fair on Lewis. He gets bullied, gets picked on about how big I am, and I need to give him the best chance I can. Love you, see you tonight. 3:15.
Back home, it's time for Sacha's first meal of the day. She's addicted to food and has no control over what she eats. Her favourite breakfast is 2 rounds of toast, 4 rashers of bacon, 3 eggs and a can of baked beans.
Never ever feel full. I just don't get that sick, bloated feeling anymore at all. I wish I knew when enough was enough. Wish I knew the word no. But I can't say no. Have no willpower. The reason I'm like I am is my fault. It's me that eats, no one forces me to eat.
After breakfast, Sacha logs on. With no confidence to leave the house and with no job, she relies on her favourite internet chat rooms for much of her contact with the outside world.
When I'm chatting online, I'm a complete different person. I'm strong, I'm funny, I'm outgoing, I'm loud. But in real life, it's the complete opposite. The reason I can be like that online is because people can't see how fat I am. When people say, what do you look like, the only full facial photo that I do use, it probably took me about 30 attempts to get, where I've made my face look thinner by hiding behind my hair, because I don't want them to see the rest of me, because I'm ashamed. I was actually born a normal child. Whether it's poverty, society, my mum and dad's fault, my fault, who do you stop putting the blame on? You don't. You end up blaming yourself, and then you get unhappy, and then you eat to make yourself happy. Do you want to go in the shop?
Yes, please.
What are you going to get?
What I want.
Crap.
Yeah.
Yet, despite her shame, the first thing Sacha does when she collects Lewis from school each day is to stop off at the local shop to treat them both to an afternoon snack. At only 9 years old, Lewis is already obese and is bullied at school because of his size.
What do you want, Mama?
I want one of them. Cheese and ham ones. Right, erasure.
Right. Yeah.
Beat you. Yeah, go on, have one packet. Hello. Right.
How are you, Lewis?
Lewis has a weight problem himself, and I know that's my fault. I'm teaching him the way he should eat, and he's following me. We're our own little safety blanket. He knows what I go through, and I know what he goes through. And it's like no one else understands, so we kind of hide ourselves away. So, what happened to school?
Not much.
Food's a reward with Lewis. He didn't have a very good start to life. The first 2 years with his dad wasn't very good. And I used to basically feed him to keep him quiet so his dad wouldn't react to him crying. And I suppose it's just imprinted in on his brain now that to make you happy and not cry is to give you food. Food does begin to be your only friend. Did you eat your lunch at school?
I had a drink. And the secret sandwich.
And the secret sandwich. Okay.
Do my stars up there. Put your hands up in the air.
Just think, Lewis, every jump is 10 calories.
Your hands up. Yay!
Keep bouncing, think of all that weight you're losing.
Although Lewis has been under dietitians since he was 18 months old, his addiction to food has also become out of control.
Lewis's weight bothers me a lot. He's actually bigger than what I was at his age. So I don't want him to go down this road. It's not fair on him. I know that I need help. I do need help, and if I don't help myself, I can't help Lewis. I can't be a hypocrite and say, no, Lewis, you can't have that, but your mummy can.
Yet even Sacha's concern for Lewis's health has not been enough to stop her addiction to food.
Right, dinner? What do you want? Kebab. Okay.
2 hours after their afternoon snacks, Sacha decides to order a takeaway.
Can I have a delivery, please? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's awful. I didn't even have to give my name. That's how often I order it. That's really bad. We'd probably order 3 or 4 times a week, takeaways from the same place. And obviously that's how they know who I am. He just gave me my address and said, do you want the usual? And be half an hour, 45 minutes.
Lewis goes to the door to collect the kebabs. Sacha's too ashamed to be seen.
Food to me now, it's pleasure. It's the out of bounds. You're not supposed to have it. So when you do have it, like the crown jewels, yeah. When you do have it, you feel bad, naughty, excited.
Queen.
Shouldn't be having it.
And like the Queen.
But it just, everything. It's nice, tastes nice. Makes you happy, makes you smile.
What?
Until it's all gone.
Yeah.
Here we are.
What?
Share these ones. Yeah.
It's almost bedtime, and while Sacha runs herself a bath, Lewis finishes the household chores. He's recently become a young carer, and Sacha relies heavily on Lewis to look after her. But by far the hardest thing for Sacha is having to ask him to help bath her.
I don't think he minds, but then deep down, he's probably seeing things that a normal 9-year-old boy shouldn't have to see. Shouldn't have to see their mum naked. I think Lewis has just accepted it. He knows he's helping me. But I think if it came to a perfect world, he hates it. He just wants to be a normal child, and he can't. Because he's just worried for me all the time. He's worried things are gonna happen, or I'm gonna cry, or something, and he can't be here to stop it.
I don't think Mummy likes being big. She's hardly ever happy. I don't think Mummy's happy because she mostly cries.
And how does that make you feel?
Sad.
Sacha's despair over her escalating weight means she's now sought professional help.
It got to the stage where I had to go to my doctors and said, if you don't help me, I'm going to kill myself. That's when she first put me in for the operation. The only option left for me is surgery. I don't have a choice. If I don't have it, I'm going to die.
Doctors have told Sacha that without a gastric bypass operation, she could be dead within 5 years.
And flatten your tongue if you can for me.
Today, she's visiting Shaw Summers' obesity clinic for tests. These will reveal the level of damage her extreme weight has caused to her body.
Hello. Hi, Sacha. How are you?
Shaw Summers needs to be sure it's safe to go ahead with the surgery Sacha is so desperate for.
The weight you're currently at is at a level that is dangerous not only for your general health day to day, but also for an operation.
Yeah.
And what we have to do today, if we're going to go ahead and help you lose a lot of weight, is to make sure you're the safest you can be for surgery. So the test today will tell us how your breathing is, and if it's not quite up to scratch, we can do something about it in advance of the surgery to make your chances that much better.
Okay.
Now, when we met in clinic, we went through what the operation is designed to do, and you know that eating will never be quite the same again.
It's never going to be the same now.
No, but it needs to be different.
Yeah.
And it needs to be different enough to help you lose the weight so that your body doesn't get the calories from food, it gets its calories from you.
Yeah.
You start to burn off what you've got. To do that, what we have to do is an operation to shrink the size of your stomach by stapling.
Okay.
And then instead of the food going down the normal way, it goes through a little shortcut. And that shortcut will mean that you don't absorb quite as much of the goodness from your food, including some of the vitamins.
Okay.
So after the op, you will always need to take a vitamin tablet. You may even need to take either a calcium tablet to keep your bones steady if you're not so good with milk. And if you, certainly for ladies, if you're having regular period cycles, you'll need to take iron tablets.
Okay.
All right. With any operation, I need to just let you know what the risks are.
Yeah.
Clearly, we have to balance what the risk for you individually is. And because of your size, we know that if we leave you as you are, the risks to your health day to day are very big. So I think on balance, the risks of surgery are less overall than the risks of leaving you as you are for the next 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
However, on the day, there will be some special risks related to the op, and those are things like bleeding, leakage from one of the joints, or internal injury. Now, the chances of that are probably less than 1 in 50. My job is to look after you the best I can, get you through it as easily as possible so that you get on and recover, get back to day-to-day life and get shrinking.
Okay.
All right. Now, is there anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to ask about all of that?
Just look after me.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm here for, and that's what we do. And you know, I think you've made the decision that you can't go on like this.
No.
So our job is to sort that out for you, give you your life back.
Thank you.
See you later. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sacha is thrilled that her surgery can go ahead. Back home, she celebrates the only way she knows how. Her operation has been scheduled for 1 week's time, and from tomorrow, she's resolved to stick to surgeon Shaw Summers' strict diet.
This is going to be the last meal now, Lou.
Yeah.
Before I have to go on that diet.
Yeah.
Do you think Mummy will be able to do it?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Are you going to help Mummy?
Yeah.
What am I going to do in 7 more days?
Enjoy the rest of your life.
Enjoy the rest of my life, that's right. Although it is nice and it makes me feel happy while I'm eating it, it's the one thing that's ruined my life.
Stuff.
Sacha Whitehead is 32 years old and weighs over 30 stone. At just 5 foot 2 inches tall, she is super morbidly obese and literally eating herself to death. For the past week, Sacha's been on a special diet arranged by the obesity clinic. This is to prepare her for the gastric bypass surgery that she hopes will save her life.
The diet consists of 4 pints of milk a day, water, a sugar-free jelly, and we have OXO cubes to make hot drinks with, which we'll have 3 a day, and that's it. And it's killing me. It feels like my throat's been cut. I hate it. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. No. I could give anything up. Anything but food. Food's just a life source.
Sacha's so determined to be as well as possible for the operation, she's come swimming today for the first time in 6 years.
It's having the confidence to actually come swimming, just to walk out of the changing rooms, let alone to swim up and down. People's expressions on their faces are how big I am. The horror that I can let myself get this way. Disgust. It's a catch-22 situation. You either go out to get exercise to lose weight, and people look at you, stare at you, make you feel so uncomfortable that you don't go out. But I really want to lose as much weight as I can for the operation. I'm trying my hardest now to make it as safe as possible. I don't want to die on the table.
Sacha's been having sleepless nights over what would happen to her 9-year-old son Lewis if she were to die during surgery. She's arranged to meet best friends Sarah and Vanessa to discuss her will.
Right, I need a big favour from both of you. My operation at the weekend, and I want to fill a will out to look after Lewis. Can you two both be witnesses, please?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you, because you know that there is a chance, a 1 in 50 chance that I'm not going to make it. And if anything happens...
But it's not.
My mum's going to have Lewis.
Right. Obviously.
And if you can both help her.
Vanessa and Sarah are concerned at the dramatic change they've seen in Sacha as her weight has piled on.
She's got less self-esteem, lower confidence. She's so self-conscious and she's frightened, you know, people are looking at her and tittering behind her back. And that's why she sticks herself indoors and stays there.
Right, can you, Seth?
Yeah.
Same place there.
Sacha is very unhappy, very depressed. Just at her wit's end, I think. She's had enough. She doesn't see any way out apart from the operation.
Well, you know that I'm terrified of it. It's just, I can't think about future until
you've had it done and it's over and done with.
Until I get this next weekend out of the way. Once next weekend's out of the way, then I can start looking forward to having a life.
Both friends are supportive of Sacha having the operation, although Sarah had mixed feelings at first.
I was a bit like, we all want that, you know? I wouldn't say jealous, but, you know, it does. When you're bigger, you think, oh, I wish I could have it done, you know? But Sacha needs this operation. I mean, without it, there's only one way to go, isn't there? And that's to eat and eat and eat until you can't move. I mean, seriously affects her health.
You know, we're all looking forward to be able to take her out and doing girly things with her and to see the Sacha that we met years ago with more confidence.
I think you're going to be amazed.
And then we'll be able to go clothes shopping, all of us.
Yes. Oh, yeah, and if you mean left at the fat shop, Evans.
No, because
let's get there some Evan vouchers from the fat shop. Losing weight for Sacha will just be like being reborn.
Oh, God.
She'll just be a happier person, totally.
It's the day of the operation. Sacha waits anxiously for her final consultation with bariatric surgeon Shaw Summers.
Morning, Sacha.
Morning.
Nice to see you.
And you?
How are you feeling this morning?
Nervous, but
nervous.
okay.
I'd be more worried if you weren't nervous. Just
Yeah.
shows you've thought about it and you understand that you're going to make a big change to you today, hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
Get it all sorted. We just need to go through what we call the consent form with you, just to make sure you're satisfied and you understand what's going on. You're signing to say that you agree to the op, that you've discussed the anaesthetic, and that anything in addition I'll only do if it's absolutely vital. Any questions?
No.
You just want me to get on with it now? Okay, so after
Look after me.
I will do, it's my job. See you in a little bit.
In a bit.
I'll go and put my pyjamas back on then.
Thank you.
Biggest fear about the operation is dying. Leaving Lewis. He's only 9. And he needs me. I know what I'm doing is for the best. And I know that the surgeon's ever so good and he's doing what he thinks is best, and everyone's here to look after me, but it's still in the back of your head. And still in the back of the head is my fault that I'm here in the first place.
Without this surgery, it's unlikely Sacha would survive the next 5 years. An adult is considered clinically obese with a body mass index of over 30. Sacha's BMI is a dangerous 82.
I can get yourself into the middle as much as you can do the sides, yeah?
In the operating theatre, Sacha's size is already causing problems. The team of anaesthetists are struggling to put her to sleep.
Just make a fist and open and close your hand for
Sacha's body fat means it's extremely difficult to find a vein and administer the drip for the anaesthetic.
A little bit of pushing now. Okay, sorry. Well done. You got the drip in already, so no more injections.
With the tubes finally in, Sacha can now be put under general anaesthetic and the operation can begin.
I feel like Rolf Harris when I do this, but can you tell what it is yet?
Her stomach is painted with iodine to help kill any germs.
No, thank you.
Shaw Summers makes the first incision. He then splits open the layers of fat so he can get to Sacha's internal organs.
First stage is just getting some access just into the tummy so that we can do the operation without struggling to find what we need to find, like the stomach and the intestine. Well, the first thing we notice is that Sacha's liver is actually enlarged, but not as big as it could be. So she's been a good girl and tried her best with the diet and actually managed to lose a bit of the weight in her liver. Okay, off with those. We ask patients to do a milk diet because when you go into a starvation-style diet, your body reacts first by trying to use the stores that it can most easily get to. And the easiest store for the body to get to is the one in the liver. So we put our patients onto a diet of milk and nothing but milk, small swallow please, for at least a week pre-surgery. And milk has proteins in it, a bit of fat, but very little carbohydrate, very little stodge. So the natural response of the body is to mobilise any stodge it can get from places like the liver. and so the liver will shrink as it loses its stores. It makes my life a lot easier. Now, the first thing I've noticed is Sacha's gallbladder is all stuck, indicating that she most likely has had some inflammation there.
Before he starts the gastric bypass, Shaw first removes Sacha's gallbladder. The gallbladder stores bile, which helps the body break down food. Because Sacha will lose weight quickly, she's more likely to get painful gallstones. Shaw is removing the gallbladder now to prevent Sacha needing future surgery.
One gallbladder. There we go.
Nurse Hazel Conway dissects Sacha's gallbladder and discovers Sacha already has gallstones.
Oh yeah, there's half a dozen or so. So when she wakes up, I'll say, "You've lost 6 stones."
Shaw can now set to work on the gastric bypass. The first step is to pull out the omentum, the fatty apron that covers the small intestine.
We've just got to be very gentle with this because it can bleed if it's mishandled or mistreated. That's about 10 times thicker than it should be. It is a store of fat, and it also acts to protect the intestines from a variety of things, but quite how it and why it becomes so thickened in obesity, we don't know. And there's the small intestine hiding underneath.
Before he staples Sacha's stomach, Shaw has to bypass about 1 metre of her small intestine. This will reduce both Sacha's appetite and the amount of calories her body can absorb. What's more, this bypass surgery will also ensure that Sacha eats the right food in future. Eat the wrong stuff and her body will reject it.
Right, so we've now finished making what we call the Roux en Y gastric bypass. It's called Roux after a chap called Cesar Roux who invented it around the turn of the century. Very clever man from Switzerland. And why? Because you get the letter Y. If I stretch it out there, there is your letter Y, the 2 limbs and the bottom bit. That bit goes down to Sacha's bottom. This bit will go up to her new little stomach. So tuck this back inside because we don't want to see it again. I just need to dig the tunnel, I think.
Now Shaw Summers uses a staple gun to reduce the size of Sacha's stomach.
Her stomach's about the size of a honeydew melon at the moment when it's full of food. By the time I've stapled her stomach, it'll be about the size of an egg. So it makes a big difference to how much food Sacha will be able to eat in one go. If you look at the size of portions patients have after surgery, they have tiny little ramekins with a little bit of mashed banana in, and they look at it thinking, oh my God, is that all I can eat? But after 1 or 2 spoonfuls, they feel full. And then they look up at you and go, this is great. That's it, first firing. So I hope for Sacha that will be the start of a whole new way of looking at food and eating. Okay, job done.
After 3 hours, the operation is over. Anaesthetist Dr. Rob Hill begins to wake Sacha up.
Hello there, Sacha. Just waking up, okay?
Only time will tell if the operation has been a success.
Mummy?
Hello, Bobby.
2 days later, and Sacha's well enough for her first visitor. Her son, Lewis.
I've been all right.
It's been 2 days since my operation and it hurts. It's awful. I know it's what I wanted, but it definitely stops you thinking about food. Oh. It's weird not to constantly crave food, but I know once all the pain's gone and it's all healed, then it's going to be a different matter, and yeah, it'd be the best thing I've ever done.
Who do you remind you of?
Reminds me of you, because you're a cheeky monkey, aren't you? Yeah.
5 days later, and Sacha's able to come home. But although she can only eat tiny portions, she can't stop obsessing about food.
It surprised me to how emotionally I feel about food. It just feels like I've lost everything. It was my best friend and now I haven't got any of it. I never feel hungry, but I still feel that my head's telling me to eat. I still want to eat constantly all the time. And that's why I'm sick most of the time, because I can't override what my head's telling me, and then I do go ahead and eat and then I throw up again. What's being said in my head is stronger than the feeling of me being sick. The craving just is too much. Even though I know I'm going to be sick, I still eat it. It's not too bad being sick. It hurts your tummy, whether obviously you've had the operation, but my head's so strong that I would rather eat it and be sick than not be sick at all. But I'm hoping it's going to change.
And it's not just her relationship with food Sacha's struggling with. Since her operation, her previously close relationship with son Lewis is also under strain.
Me and Lewis, because we were both overweight, we always clung together where food was concerned. He thinks the same as me. It's his only friend and it's what he lives for.
Yeah?
Fish is done.
Oh, yummy.
Get your tray out. So now I can't eat it, but he can. It's kind of pushed us apart. It's kind of put a wedge between us because we don't have the same feelings of food anymore. Before the operation, Lewis used to always be with me, always in the same room as me. But now here, sometimes take his dinner upstairs to eat, and he'll go off into his room and play, and not really be hanging around me as much as what he used to be, especially around dinner time. I wish from day one that I had been a lot stronger with Lewis and made him eat what he should be eating and said no to him many times, but I've made the mistake and poor Lewis is paying for it at the end of the day.
But despite these problems, Sacha has no regrets about having the operation.
No regrets, only for the pure and simple fact is I wish I'd prepared mentally for it a lot more than what I did. That I was going to be up one day, down the next day, and just to understand how addicted to food I actually was.
Will Sacha ever manage to face her demons and enjoy a healthy relationship with food? And regain control of her life? At 32 stone, Sacha Whitehead was super morbidly obese. Diets had failed, and gastric bypass surgery was her last chance to lose the weight that was slowly killing her. 6 months after surgery, and already the changes are dramatic. Before her operation, Sacha could barely walk. Now she works out daily at the gym.
So far I've lost 7 stone and it's just changed my life. It's absolutely brilliant. At the gym I can do an hour on the treadmill, half an hour on the bike and half an hour on the hand bike. Before I lost this much weight, I wouldn't have even been able to walk from the car to the gym and do 5 minutes on the treadmill without being in pain, and I don't get any pain now. I don't think anybody likes going to the gym. I still have to push myself to get up and go, but once I'm there and I do it and I come home, it just makes me feel like I've made an effort and everything all seems to go right then for the rest of the day. My outlook on food, it's still bad. I still want to eat all the wrong things, but it's getting to the point now that I know how much to eat, when I can eat, and when to stop myself being sick.
Sacha used to be so embarrassed about her weight, she rarely left the house. She's come a long way since she had to rely on internet chat rooms for contact with the outside world.
The major thing that's changed since losing the weight is that I've grown the confidence to meet someone now. His name's Wayne and he's lovely. The first time we met was scary, very, very scary. Although I had told him about the operation and that I was big, I think even to anybody, if you say how heavy you are, they can't picture it in body. But I was just lucky to find somebody that was good and nice and who didn't care. Who didn't care, he just seen me for who I was, not what I looked like.
But it doesn't make no difference if she was 12 stone or if she was sort of 24, 32 stone. It doesn't make no difference. It's the person that I'm with.
Before my weight loss, I would have never gone into a relationship because it wouldn't have been a relationship, it would have been a carer looking after me. I just had no confidence to meet anyone. I never thought anybody would like me or love me.
Even the simple task of picking her son Lewis up from school has become so much easier now she's lost 7 stone.
This is the best thing that's happened since my operation is for the first time in 10 years I can fit my seatbelt on. And there's even a gap between my steering wheel and my tummy now. I feel so much more of a mum now than I ever did before because now Lewis doesn't have to look after me, it's me looking after him, which is the way it should be.
Sacha used to be so ashamed of her size, she wouldn't get out of the car at the school gates. But all that has changed.
When I take Lewis to school and pick him up now, I don't mind getting out of the car. He doesn't mind me getting out of the car now. He's quite proud of me now that Mummy is just a normal mummy. When I pick Lewis up from school now, we don't go to the shop. I did to start off with. It was just a habit of going in there and buying lots of things, but it was the case of we used to buy them, eat them, be sick, and it was just a waste of money, so we don't even go to the shop now.
Despite their initial problems shortly after Sacha's operation, her relationship with Lewis is now stronger than ever. These days, instead of going to the sweet shop or getting a takeaway, Sacha treats Lewis in other ways. Today is the first time she's ever taken him to a pantomime. Before her operation, Sacha couldn't fit into the theatre seats.
It makes me feel a mum now. I can be a mum. I can do things that he wants to do, and this is his one dream, was to go to the pantomime, and we get to do that now. It's a dream come true for you, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I get so much happiness just from seeing Lewis happy now.
The best thing about my mum losing weight is that we can do much more stuff together. I think my mum is definitely happier, and that definitely makes me very happy.
Having the operation is the best thing that's ever happened to me, that I've ever done. It saved my life.